Hi, welcome to my channel Learning with Boys. Today I want to give a recap, some reviews, a couple favorites of my ninth graders past year. Hi, welcome. If you're new here, I am a homeschool mom of 4 boys ages 10 to 19. Today I want to talk about my ninth grader and this past school year and some reviews, some recaps of what we have used and how it went. I also am going to show you a few of the books that he said would have fell into his favorites. If you like this type of content, please hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it greatly. And also, as I'm going through some of this curriculum, let me know, is it something you have used, something you're interested in a little bit more, or maybe even the books that I'm going to show you, the living books, if it's anything that you all have read. I would love to hear from you all. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk about his math and his science first. I don't have a picture of his math. We used Saxon Algebra 1 the first half of the year, and I want to also let you know I do have videos that I have shared throughout this past year, updates and so forth, if you want to look back, and I'll link a couple of them below for my ninth grader. But for math, we started out with Saxon Algebra 1, and it started out well. It just became a lot, sort of a blocking point. It was just taking way too long, and I know there was lots of options I could have chose, but I went ahead with CTC Math. I have never tried that before, and it really probably was what he needed to finish off the school year. Now, he kept saying, okay, Mom, am I done with math? Am I done with math? And this was towards the end of the end of April into May. And I said, well, just keep working on it, moving forward. Well, then I went ahead and looked at to see where he was at and what else they were going to have him working on. And I sort of compared it to some algebra classes and even Algebra 2. And I thought, well, they're going to teach that in Algebra 2. Let's just stop here. He was excited about that. It was not a hard math. It was not nearly as time consuming as Saxon, but math is not his favorite subject. I will let you know that. Let me go ahead and mention English grammar. For grammar, we used IEW for grammar and writing. We used the Fix-It Robin Hood, and that went really well. I want to say with Fix-It, and I don't know about the new books, but it probably wouldn't hurt if they maybe even step down a level. This book was fine for him this year. Actually, he doubled up the first half of the year, but the second half definitely needed to be slowed down. So they do teach a lot in these books. I want to share that with you. Also, I don't have it in front of me, but he used the IEW themed book, The Modern World, and that went well. I will be honest, he did not finish it. And I will tell you, because I'm going to go into Bible. With the Bible, he had the opportunity, and I share this in some of my other videos, to, give some short lessons in Sunday school and testimonies here and there. And he would spend time writing them out and studying. And sometimes I would review them, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I left that up to him. But I felt like he spent a lot of time on that in the writing realm, so I counted that also towards writing. So for Bible, he was pretty independent. I let him pick and choose. He was reading through his Bible. I didn't even ask him. I think we've talked about it this past year, but I cannot remember where in his Bible he was reading, and just his own personal time. And I just sort of left that with him, and I know that he took the time to do that. So that was his Bible. Now, the bulk of his curriculum comes from Heart of Dakota World Geography this year for ninth grade. This is our third time using this. I used it for my 2 older boys when they were in ninth grade, and we really like this curriculum. You're going to see the difference in your children if you use a curriculum over and over, and their likes and dislikes, their interests. But I think it went really well for him and his personality. One of the main books was the Mapping the World with Art, and all my boys enjoyed this because it's really just working on the maps. And I have lots of videos about the spines and other books. I'm just showing you some of what he enjoyed and his favorite parts of the curriculum. Also, for science, which is part of Heart of Dakota, this is what is in their book, is the Paradigm, Accelerated Science. And he actually only made it, there's 12 books, and we stopped at 10. I feel content about that. So he finished up this. It went okay. Science is not his favorite subject either. So I can't say, oh, he loved this, or this would work great for any child. It is a lot of reading, but it's easy reading. It's very comprehensive. We actually used, which is not mentioned in the book, but we went ahead and watched some YouTube videos that would correlate with the lessons we were looking at, and used it in a different way than really the book said. But we did follow the schedule. So I just wanted to share that with you in our review on that. I do also want to mention that my son does take piano lessons, and I think I show him in some of the videos of practicing, and he has had the opportunity to play in like a Sunday school. The Lord has blessed him in that area, and I'm thankful. All my boys took piano lessons, but so far he's been sticking with it. So, and it's a blessing to listen to him practice at home. I mentioned also in Heart of Dakota, we did World Geography and Logic. There was a couple books. This was probably his favorite logic book. He did watch the videos for the other part of the logic, and I think he enjoyed those. But this is a good book that I highly recommend, even if you don't use this curriculum and you just want a logic book, The Fallacy Detective. I think there's another book that correlates with this, but they're both good, and I feel like they're somewhat easy reads, could probably even be used in 8th grade. So I wanted to share that with you. And for the World Geography, I want to mention that went well this past year. I did change some things up towards the end of the school year, but I'm glad we picked to do the world religion this year. It's our first time doing that part of Heart of Dakota in the World Geography book. One of the main spines, now they have a couple spines, they go back and forth, but they also have some living books, but was just the world religion. And this is by McDermott, I think is how you say it. And this was good, and they have it scheduled in the guide, and this was good reading, so we enjoyed that. Now, when I asked him what his favorite books were, one of the living books from World Religion was picked, and that was Sundar Singh, and it was sort of, I was like, really, that was one of your favorite books? And he's like, yeah. And this was really a good read. It was something of an area and of people we had not studied a lot about, which is India. So I think it was just an eye-opener, and we all enjoyed it. Now, okay, one of the living books for the history was Big John's Secret. This was one of the ones that he picked out as a favorite. And the other two were actually more of his literature books, and it was The Bronze Bow, which is a really good book. I definitely think it's more of a higher middle school, high school book, but I know I've seen it for younger kids. He is not a big reader. I actually found this on audio at the library, and he followed along. I think that helped because there is a lot of characters, and just giving it the separation. So, but this is a really good book in general. Also, this was the first time any of my boys have read Men of Iron, and he actually said this was one of his favorite. I'm trying to think, he compared it to something else, and I can't remember what it was, but he read this on his own, and he picked this as one of his favorites. So now I am going to mention these books, Practical Happiness. One thing I like about Heart of Dakota is you find books that you probably would have never heard of or discovered. And this is Bob Schultz. He has several books. This one is Practical Happiness, A Young Man's Guide to Contented Life. And it's just chapters. And they actually, in Heart of Dakota, they only give you, I think, one a week to read. And some of his other books, I think, start, it may be Resurrection to Reformation that they start. And she has a book, I don't know if it's every year or every other year throughout, but he has several, and they're just really good. He uses stories of his own life working and situations he may be in and how to handle them in a godly way, or he might use somebody else. But they're just a couple pages. Let's see. Yeah, just a few pages. I'm laughing at that chapter is Why Do Men Not Hear? Training the Ears to Hear. And it's all in story form. He just gives you a story to think about things and just teaches you responsibility, a good character building books. So I want to share that with you because I feel like these are good for boys for sure. Okay, I think that was it for my 9th grader this past year. Like I said, I have videos that I've tried to do throughout the school year, and hopefully this next year when he goes into 10th, I will try to do the same thing. I do have a video about the curriculum we will be using for his 10th grade year, and I'll link that below. And I appreciate you all watching. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you.